Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual View. We are so delighted that you're joining us whenever you're watching this, and wanted just to introduce our crew that's going to be talking today with you around another archangel in our Archangel series. And today's archangel that we will be discussing is Archangel Uriel. And so, first of all, let's get a shout out. Dawn from Astrology and Tarot Alchemy, Jenn from the Awakened Jenn, Wendi, and myself, Ceree. We're your hosts today. And Dawn is actually going to lead the conversation around this archangel. If you haven't checked out all of our other series, we've been doing a series every week for the past number of weeks, and we would invite you to check out at the Spiritual View 311, our YouTube channel. And we have a series of videos that we've posted on some of the other archangels, from Raphael to Michael to Gabriel and such. So today's focus is actually Uriel, and this archangel is quite interesting. So Dawn is going to take us through the conversation today, and we hope that this is informative and that it allows you just to get introduced to the energy of Uriel, as well as how do you tap into the blessing and the energy of this archangel to help you in your journey. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dawn, who's going to take us through Archangel Uriel.
Hello. Well, thanks, Ceree. And to start with, I hadn't used Uriel in what I usually do in my daily, practices. I usually, Raphael for healing and Gabriel for messages and Archangel Michael for protection. And I'm very linked to Sandalphon because of the whole musical aspect of it. So I went into looking at Uriel to see what that could mean for me. And I was very surprised. And I feel like Uriel is actually coming into this time in our lives for a specific reason and for that attention. So I'm going to just bring this up on stage for everyone to take a look at. The name Uriel means flame of God. So what I'll do, I may even make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Uriel is an archangel of utmost wisdom who gave people alchemical knowledge. And I found that to be a very fascinating piece of information, because I feel we're very much in an alchemical time, and we're learning how to use the things around us in mastery. And answers from Uriel will come in the form of ideas, concepts, epiphanies, and insights. He downloads them into our minds through visions, dreams, or unexpected moments of clarity. And also for me, this connects very much to that energy of Uranus, where, you are going about your business in your day and you've had a question on your mind. This is one of those things that I have done many, many, many times, where I will have a problem. I'll be, trying to remember something along those lines, and then I'll go on about my business, on about my day. And while I'm doing something routine, mundane, boom, in pops the answer. So I think that is very much a Uriel connected event, that those things pop in. So he is one of the most powerful and influential archangels, and also is considered an angel of presence. So it's that, to me, it's also that sense of knowing who you are, and when you need guidance, if you want to feel strong, he is very much about fire, the inspiration of things. I think he's going to be someone that we call upon for inspiration in the future when we are looking for a new idea, especially with all of this energy of Uranus that's coming into Gemini in the near future. It is within his might to portray an unbelievable world, and he is associated with lightning and thunder. So I get that sense of that Zeus type energy, the lightning and the thunderbolts. And again, that Uranus energy. The associated colors are amber yellow, ruby red, purple, orange, and pale yellow. He is a lot of times shown near a fire or with a lightning sword. Symbols representing his energy are electricity, lightning bolts, thunder, and fire. He also helps us to balance our root and solar plexus chakras. And Uriel belongs to a group of angels known as the illuminated seraphim. So that is the information that I was able to get from him. But I think that to me, it's very much that energy of what's coming up for us in the future. So I think we'll be able to call upon him when we are moving forward with this Uranus energy when it enters into Gemini, because that's a very new ideas, new mind, new concepts. Trine Pluto, which is about the collective energy and sharing information and us all being connected with each other. I think he's going to be very much a part of that energy. And so bringing it back to the rest of us here, let me go ahead and bring us back in. Did any of you have any things that you feel may be related to that Uriel type energy? Although I do have a question for Ceree about the seraphim. Can you better define, because I think you're a little bit more up on that, what the seraphim are in the angelic realm?
Well, in just a simple terms, seraphim, they say they sit at the right hand of God, and they are very pure source energy. And you can tell when I'm in the Akashic records, I'm typically touching some of the angelic realms, and I get this high pitched frequency that almost hurts. Well, it does hurt. Full clarity there. And they are just a very high vibrational set of angels, and they say that they are on either side of God, and that they are the closest connection to God. So it's a very reverent and sacred vibration, and I see it through the color blue. So when I experience the vibrations in the Akash, and I've been to different angelic realms, the seraphim I would classify them as the blue angels, not the flying, the airplanes, but the color blue is what comes to mind. And it's just, if you've been in the presence of the energy, it's almost like the Christ consciousness energy. It's just so pure. It's quite beautiful. But it's hard to hold a vibration and be in it, because when I first started experiencing it, I would fall asleep. That's how, it would make me physically tired. Does that help?
Oh yeah, I think that one of the things that I most connect with him is just that because I feel like lightning and fire purifies, that sense of that truth that comes out, that the purest form of a thought. I do feel, because I have Mars in Gemini, that's a lot of how my thought process works. Is I get downloads and it's just like there, but I feel like I've always felt like there's some kind of guide or something that pops in that give messages, like, who has a very dry sense of humor, by the way, and that when I do have a question about something and I'm not certain of the answer, and then you just release it and let it go, and then again, it's usually when I can be out walking or doing something else or doing the dishes and allowing time, quiet space. And all of a sudden something will pop in and it'll be like, oh, problem solved, or, oh, I get that now, or I can go look that up or something like that. And that's what I feel. I am getting some of that benefit of that lightning energy with, very much, I feel like that Mars in Gemini energy, because it's that very quick, fast, instant download that comes through. So I don't know if anybody else has had any
Yeah, I was
experience.
gonna say, just last weekend, Uriel was very active for me, and I think it was with that Uranus conjunction that was happening, which makes complete sense, because I mean, it's just those sudden epiphanies. It's just like, whoa, okay, this thing that has just kind of been sitting there for a while, you might not have even put a whole lot of thought to it, but just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, here's the answer, and it's just as clear as day, and you can't unsee it. And so, like, what was kind of happening, the way that I experienced it was, I just happened to my eye caught this number, that it had been this certain number for ever. And then all of a sudden it's different. just one number off, but I mean, just it's been this number forever. And just it was just as like the minute I saw it, it was just like, look at this. And it was even coming in on this side. And usually I get my messages on this side. So that's why this one was like really, and it was just like, okay. And then the minute that I saw it, I got exactly, here's what this means. Here's what happened. And then I saw the visual of exactly what happened that made that number shift. And I was just like, are you serious? And then it was just like the, you know, I mean, and that's Uriel. I mean, it's just, it hits you just out of nowhere. And it's just that lightning strike, like you said, just epiphany, just sudden dawning. And so that's my experience. And it was big last weekend with that Uranus and transit.
Yeah. How about you, Wendi? Did you have anything that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had those moments too of it's like that sudden flash of a kind of an epiphany, but I think it's actually affected me more with dreams and kind of visions and dreams, and having the kind of some prophetic dreams and things like that. Also the pale yellow color, definitely a big one for me. And also dreams of just kind of inspiration, or like I used to cook professionally, and I would constantly, and I painted my kitchen a pale yellow, and I would constantly have dreams about different recipes and things, and I'd have to, you know, write them down. I'd wake up and write them down and stuff, and just like different flavor combinations and stuff. And so, yeah, I feel like that was kind of part of Leah connection as well. But yeah, I'd say now it's definitely more in dreams for me. But,
yeah. And mine now I realize, Dawn, is through the chakras, and in particular the root chakra with red, and the solar plexus with the pale yellow, because the solar plexus is where we hold fear, but it's also where we hold joy. And so I now recognize his presence. The other thing that when I'm working in the angelic realm, I've been to what's called the Ruby Realm, and the energy is extremely intense. And when I first started going there, it bothered me because it was just such an intense energy, like the lightning strike, and just, you know, things happening that were really fast and very Aries like energy. But I didn't realize now that I've been in the Ruby Realm, and I remember I see vibration as color. I've got some kind of shade going on here with me. And so I now realize that he is in the Ruby Realm a lot, and his energy is very, very strong. It's like Archangel Michael's, but in a different way. It's more like boom. It's fast. You know, things come out of nowhere, whether they be the insights or the clarity or the things in the dream state. I now realize that I was connecting with that energy, and I just didn't realize it at the time. So that was my kind of aha in the moment.
And it's very interesting that he is associated so much with fire and lightning, that to me, that's that very much that purification element to it. Like, and I also, when I get, I don't know if this was the same for you, Jenn, but when I would get a download, I got everything. It was just like, it's not just you got a little piece at a time. It's just like everything kind of just drops, and you're busy trying to look at everything at the same time, and you just know it all at one time. I think that's a little bit hard to explain, but then that's why I know it's not something that I thought of in my brain. It's it's something pops in. And
fully formed, absolutely fully formed. Yes. And it's just like, that made so much sense. And it wasn't there before. I wasn't even thinking about it. That's where it hits, is I'm not even really thinking about it. And it's just like, okay, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my experience with that too. When it just happens, like just suddenly you just know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the fully formed answer that you get with it. It's like, it's not just like you get a little hint, like it's a little guide thing. No, it's like,
right.
The whole package.
And
yeah. And I do think, because I think that to me, he feels like he's got this command over Uranus in that sense of what's going to be going on with the collective. I think that that there are so many things that people are going to be able to ask questions of and download, because we do have that, you know, things appear to a bunch of people at the same time, and then it's like a race to get them invented and get the patent out on it, because they say a lot of things can be released to a multitude of people, because the thing needs to happen. So, and I think that is part of what he is going to be doing, is there's going to be so much involved with that. And I think if you're working with him and asking for clarity on the things that you're personally working on or problems that you're having, I think especially as Uranus gets very active, with we're going to have that small grand trine. Uranus is going to be in a trine with Pluto for the next couple of years, where they're going to be actually perfecting several times with the trines. And that's going to be very supportive of the energy. And then we're also going to have Neptune being in Aries at that time, which again, that Aries energy, that fire energy, Aries is a fire sign. So I think he's going to be very supportive of the collective, of what things that are going on. So I think in the future, we'll probably be hearing a lot more about Uriel, because I think he is going to be very responsible for this very quick, sudden change that we're all going to be going through over the next 2 years, I would say. So those are the main things that I can tell you about him. And I think once you start thinking about those moments in your life where you've had just a complete formation of a plan come out of nowhere, that's very Uriel energy for me that I found. So I hope that this was a very beneficial introduction to this new angel, that not a new angel, but a new to me kind of angel energy that is out there. And I have enjoyed being able to learn more about all of these angels and how we can utilize them with our communication with each other, and working with the angelic realm to get answers and help with the things going on in our life. You do have to ask, though. You have to ask the angels and guides to help you. So also take that with you, is that you're asking out loud. I believe in asking out loud, and giving them permission to give you guidance. So with that, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you very soon on the channel. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.